ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
All right, we are here. We started off the show today talking about images, and I was talking about a caller from yesterday. And I'm often self-reflective. I usually, people are like, I'm surprised you're growing so much. No, I spend time on growth and doing the work. So if I'm unusually harsh to somebody, there's a reason. Because and if I am and I'm wrong, I'm going to come back and examine it because I'm a grown up. And I wish that for everybody listening. It is so liberating. It is so liberating to be that. But in that discussion with Charles from Colorado, I think that was his name. It sent me down a rabbit hole, and then John in Colorado. I realized that I spent a good deal of time on Brainwash, and I was hoping for like years, and then I gave up to get Tom Burrell. So when the brother called up the filmmaker, I'm actually like, let's go. Like I want to see what you did, because there are few people that have been in the rooms that know the plan. And as I was thinking yesterday about Target and the leadership and the Black community, and every time somebody talks about, Black leaders, I ask, who's the Asian leader? Something LaBrie talks about as well. Who's the leader of the Asians? Who's the leader of the Hispanics? Who's the leaders of, like, who are the white people leaders? We could say the president or whatever, but, there's really something in the question. Because for Target to pick up the phone and go to specific people tells you that there's a failure in leadership, because they should not be able to pick up the phone and go to anybody today and expect this boycott to be called off or whatever, because the boycott is us. It's each of us individually making a decision to not spend money where we're not wanted, to not spend money where we're not valued. And that's something each of us can do. Now, it becomes a big deal when you start, those of you who are driving Teslas right now, that's hard. It's hard because you bought a car not knowing this man was a maniac. Are you going to get rid of your car? Not everybody can do like Sheryl Crow and get rid of their car but donate their car. Nor should you. You pay good hard money for that. You love the karaoke or whatever. But there are other things that we can do. And I'm just saying, do something, right? So I am going to spend some time going back in the crates, and I downloaded again. I have a hard copy of Brainwash, but I downloaded it again because, there was a stuff that I wanted to read. And in it, he writes, Tom Burrell, the goal was to rationalize and reconcile the development of a single society with two outrageously contradictory parts. One built on the concept of human freedom. He was talking about the barbarity that came out of, enslavement, and the PR strategy that kind of supported this notion of white supremacy, white nationalism. And it was a tool, and it was a sales promotion, and it was a PR strategy. And he writes about that. And he said, they built this on contradictory parts. One built on the concept of human freedom. They talk a lot about that. The other built on a vicious, governmentally sanctioned destruction of human freedom. And I'm like, damn, we're living. And he said, all with the same history making quill pen. So this country was founded on human freedom and justice for all, at the same time denying people of human freedom. And there's something really schizophrenic about, how we navigate these spaces, and also how we teach our children when the contradiction is so thick. And this is why, I love children of a certain age, because they're going to still ask you questions. They're not so indoctrinated that you can't escape them. And I remember being one of those children. I remember being what they call precocious, and I remember being, definitely a pain in the ass. And it wasn't just, but why, which is one of the favorite questions of the children. But why, but there was this incredulity about the stuff that I was being taught, you know. So in chapter 1, The Scorch at the Bottom of the Melting Pot, Tom Burrell writes, the marketing of black inferiority and white superiority as building blocks for the founding of America is a chicken that has finally come home to roost. He said, now we must ask ourselves, did the world's greatest brainwashing campaign work? Fast forward 233 years, he writes, yes, it worked brilliantly. That response, however, is incomplete. To discover the real answer, we must strip away multiple layers of complex conditioning. Part of Black inferiority marketing campaign, part of the Black inferiority marketing campaign is to convince us that we can't handle the truth, that we're better off not knowing. It's an extremely patronizing message. We are capable enough and strong enough to handle the truth. More importantly, if we are to reverse the mindless perpetuation of the quote Black inferiority, or the campaign that we must go to that painful place so that we may claim our peace, he said, or campaign, we must, go to that painful place so that we may reclaim our peace. He said, let's examine the effects of the brainwashing campaign from a visual perspective. Imagine a video collage of contemporary Black images delivering in a flashing, rapid 60-second sequence, and try not to think in terms of good or bad, right or wrong, but rather how familiar these scenes are. One is a syncopated, heart-thumping hip-hop beat pulsating, while music, video-style images explode on the screen with increasing tempo. 2, a ghetto corner cordoned off with yellow police tape. 3, on the 6 o'clock news, a mother wails over the body of a Black boy felled by another Black boy with a gun. 4, Ivy League African Americans from Princeton, Harvard, Yale, running Fortune 500 companies. 5, prisons engorged with mostly dark-skinned inmates under 20. Then there's another one, forlorn teenage girls with swollen pregnant bellies and scowling prepubescent boys sporting sagging pants zooming in and out of the picture. Then he goes on, 21st century dream in Black, Oprah Winfrey, Maya Angelou, Will Smith, Whoopi Goldberg, Condoleezza Rice, Colin Powell, other role models. And there's tattooed rappers. So they're like rapid fire, Michael Jordan's flying, Tiger Woods swinging, Halle Berry seducing, and he goes on. And at the same time, we're supposed to navigate these spaces. There's as I'm reading this book, I'm also thinking that every era gives us a game changer. Tupac didn't get a chance to continue his meteoric rise in our consciousness. And then he got derailed a little bit, I think, connecting with Suge Knight. Not just his physical life, but that brother, that young man was profound at 16. And then something happened. This last summer, Kendrick Lamar, I think, changed and shifted the universe a little bit in the psyches of the next generation and some of us. We can have that argument. I'm going to be replaying my conversation with Speech, who was absolutely wrong on this. I don't think he got what happened. And that's not okay. We should get when these cultural moments, these touch points happen, we need to lean in and figure out how we can blow them up and make them more, because he was saying something and not like us. And it was layered and nuanced. And it wasn't just, he's not Black. It was something else. And I think Speech got fixated on the Black. It wasn't a Black thing, because these are made up constructs that we are forced into having an allegiance to something that doesn't really exist. That's a powerful thing too. That's a powerful thing, to get people to buy into a concept that doesn't exist, only to oppress other people. And that so many Americans identify with being white and will fight to the death to maintain that is a scary, scary thing. But it all started in propaganda in the 1600s. With a purpose and a plan, because they had to justify something that just in the souls of all human beings didn't make any moral sense to put people in bondage. It just did not. Tom Burrell writes, think about it. America had grappled with the moral dilemma of slavery ever since the first Africans landed in Jamestown in 1619. The founding fathers found themselves at a serious moral crossroads. They desperately needed a way to justify the gaping divide between their God-fearing, freedom-loving rhetoric, we're still hearing that today, right? And the nation's increasing addiction to slave labor. The solution? An effective marketing campaign created to not only force the institution of slavery to fit within the budding democracy, but one aimed at convincing both master and slave that blacks had always been and would forever be mentally, physically, spiritually, and culturally inferior. That should be a problem to everybody listening, no matter what your complexion. And if you believe any part of that, you're part of the problem. Tom Burrell writes, on a personal level, I'm revolted. Yet as a marketing man, I find it to be an audacious and ingenious strategy. It's as though the original colonial elites hired a PR agency to sell the concept that Africans were innately inferior, and it was indeed completely justifiable to treat them as subhuman beasts. The last several centuries still haunt us and hinder our advancement, he writes, and achievement. It has separated successful blacks from, quote, disposable blacks, those who simply refuse to, quote, act right and prosper. And even that notion that somehow there are those of us who are, and there's some of you who feel that way about your cousins. Some of you who look down your nose at your cousins because they don't act right. Now, I personally look down my nose at a lot of people. It ain't got nothing to do with anything. But I do think, Lamont was talking about this morning after the car left about the airport. Was he talking about the airport? No, he was talking about, the Carnival Cruise. That's right. I was listening. And how the Carnival Cruise has to have rules now that to him is just about respecting other people. Like, why are you playing your music, your own music? Everybody's battling with their own music. I was driving this morning to the gym, 6 something in the morning. Somebody had their window down, blasted something while I'm trying to listen to Robert Moses. I was like, can you turn? It is too early to be playing that music with your window down. Like, roll your window up and enjoy it. And like that will send me on a tizzy, but not class. And I definitely have to fight, not fight myself too much anymore, but these notions of I'm not like them. No, they not like us. And who's us? Are we creating an us? 866-801-8255. So we're gonna have that conversation.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back, and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.